Welcome to Tina Tries. Tired of printing nothing but articulated dragons with your cool filaments? I have a better idea. Today let's test out Bambu Lab's Make My Vase program. No CAD required and no stress. Next on Tina Tries. Last time I used cool filaments, I printed a bunch of cool Lord of the Rings decorations, but this time I wanted to go more practical. This is a great use for all of the silk PLAs that I have that don't normally work for practical prints. And each print is unique and beautiful. Let's dive in. On Maker World, we are going to click on the Maker Lab tab. This tab has all of the really neat tools that you can use for free to create your own designs. We're going to scroll down to the Make My Vase tool. Once the page opens, click on Create from Blank. This will open the design program with a default vase design. Under the cross-section Shape menu, you can choose from preset design choices like Draw Your Own Shape, Polygon, Wave, and Free Shape. Under Free Shape, you have the option to keep each section of the vase different shapes, or you can have the changes you make apply to the entire vase. There is also a cool Reroll button here, which will choose random designs for you if you don't want to make your own. You can change the shape of each section by clicking on the dots of the vase and pushing or pulling them. Under the body shape section, there are two options, default or draw. Clicking on draw shows you a side view of your vase that you can edit by clicking on and moving the dots around, and the changes you make are reflected in the rendering on the left. If you don't like the changes that you make, you can always click on default and it will revert to the vase as you had it before drawing any changes. I'm not crazy about this one, so I'm going to click on Polygon to try that one out. If you click on any of these cross-section shapes above, you'll change the entire vase. So you can play around with any of the different types that you want. You'll notice that you can change the number of edges on your vase with this slide tool right here. Under Shape Transform, you can add a twist to the edges of your vase, which gives it a nice spiral pattern. The twist angle slider will change the direction and angle of the edges. If you click on this cube in the corner, you can change the viewing angle. It's always nice to see what your vase will look like from different angles. Wow, that's ugly. Let's try drawing a vase. This menu brings up a top-down view of the vase that you can draw by clicking on and maneuvering the dots. You have the option to change half or 1/4 of the design, windmill, or free draw the shape of the vase this way. I'll choose windmill first and manipulate this section a little. Let's see what that looks like from the top. Pretty cool. Now let's try manipulating only 1/4 of the vase shape. Ooh, that's a nice oval. I will stick with that. Let's see it from the side. I'm not liking the overall shape from the side, so let's fix that. I'm going to click on the base ring here and make it skinnier. Yeah, that works. Now let's scroll down to the surface effects section. Here you can add strips or turn the vase Voronoi, which is full of holes, or make it a low poly design, which gives it this cool angular look. But I'm gonna choose strip for this one. There are two choices underneath, single or double. Single will add stripes in one direction, and double will add 2 sets of stripes in opposite directions. That gives it a cross-hatched look, which I'll show you in a little bit. There are sliders underneath here, which will edit the angle the strips are added to the vase, the width between the strips, as well as the height and density or number of strips. So slide these around until you find a design that you like. Let's see what that looks like from the top and the side. Yeah, I like that. The last section of the tool here is the vase mode section. Spiral mode is a special printing mode which can greatly improve the final look of your design once printed, but there is a downside to using this mode. I would avoid using vase mode unless you want a paper-thin, decorative-only vase. I tried it and the vase broke while removing it from the plate. Such a bummer because the vase was beautiful otherwise. For this one, I am just going to leave the vase in normal mode. You can always revert the changes from any section by clicking on None or Default in each section. But if I click on Strip under Surface Effects, it will bring back my original oval vase design. There are also undo and redo buttons on the far left side menu as well. I'm going to rename this vase by clicking on the pencil here and typing in a name. Let's call this Striped Vase. I'm going to click on Export and download the 3MF file so that I can print this vase, and then I'll show you some other features this program offers. If you click on this eye icon in the far left menu, this gives you a preview of the vase that you can click on and move around. Let me get out of preview mode here. This button with the arrows will show you the size or scale of the finished vase. So this vase will be 180 millimeters tall and 174 millimeters wide at the base. There is also a selection of templates that you can use as a starting point if you'd prefer to do that. This menu is accessed by clicking on the vase and bowl picture in the top left-hand corner. Let's take a look at this spiral hydra vase. That looks interesting. All of the same editing options are available on the right-hand menu. I'll show you what that double stripe looks like. Kinda neat. This vase is bigger than the one that I designed. Now let's click on this paint palette icon. This brings up a menu of bamboo filaments. You can choose which type and color of filament that you plan to use, and this will give you a general sense of what the final vase will look like. Now let's open the file we created in Bambu Studio. I'm going to print this on my X1 Carbon. Let's go through some of the settings. Layer height and initial layer height are automatically set to 0.2 millimeters, which is fine in my case because I'm using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. The seam will automatically be set to aligned, which in this case is great because this vase is already striped, so it will hide the seam. In the case of a smooth vase, you'll want to choose random, or you will have a big ugly seam down the back of your vase. This is a vase where I set the seam to random instead of aligned, so you can see the sort of pebbling effect from the seams instead of it being one long seam down the back. I really like how this looks. The last setting I'm going to change is under the Strength tab. I'm going to change the number of wall loops from 2 to 5. This will make the vase thicker overall and allow it to actually hold water should you want to use it for real flowers. Then I'm going to slice it. This print will use about 211 grams of filament and take just over 9 hours. However, the print time is not accurate because I'm going to set my printer to silent mode. I found that silent mode gives an overall better final print, but this will double the amount of printing time. You can see here that the actual print time will be almost 18 hours. Here's an example of printing in silent mode versus standard speed. So the vase that I printed in spiral mode that broke when I took it off of the plate, I also set to silent mode. There are no seam lines, no overhang issues. It printed beautifully. I printed that same vase in normal mode instead of spiral mode, and I also printed it on standard speed. And as you can see, the overhangs are really messy and there are some weird lines on the sides. It just overall is not as nice of a print. So I definitely recommend using silent mode for vase printing. Trust me, the end result is worth the wait. Here is the finished vase. I really like how this came out. The dual color filament just works really well with this, and as you turn it, it changes color, which is really neat. I did try using normal supports on the bottom of the second print of this vase just to see if I could smooth out the layer lines that are on the bottom here, but it made absolutely no difference. So I can definitively tell you that supports don't make much of a difference on these vases. I highly encourage you to try out this program. Design your creation, download the file, check your print settings, slice it, and print it. It is that easy. You don't even need an AMS for these. Just remember to print it in slow mode for the best results. One last thing to mention, if you use this program to print bowls, they are not food or dishwasher safe. Overall, I love how easy and rewarding this program is to use. You can even publish your designs to Maker World and earn points in the community. If you don't have a printer or you really like one of my original designs, please head over to my Etsy shop. I have quite a few different versions up. I have rainbow colored bowls, both of these vases, my asymmetrical design, and I even designed a heart-shaped vase for Valentine's Day. So if you like any of those designs, please head over to my Etsy shop. If you have something that you would like for me to print, message me and we can work something out. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. Let me know if you'd like me to do tutorials on other Bambu Lab design programs in the comment section below. My next video will be a reaction video, so hopefully you come back for that one. I will see you on the next one.